John 6:47. Amen, amen, lego humin. Ha pistuon eche zoein ionion. Here Jesus continues speaking to this crowd of skeptical and hostile Jews who have followed him after the miraculous feeding, and he says to them, "Truly, truly, I say to you all, the one who believes has eternal life." Let's look at this participle, ha pistuon. You recognize that most likely is coming from the verb pistuo. Pistuo means I believe. We have an article here that does a lot of the work for us. It's nominative masculine singular. This is indeed a present active participle. The person who believes, the one who believes, he who believes. It's being used substantively. The subject of eke. The person who believes has, just present active indicative, third singular, has, and here's your direct object, eternal life. Let's look at that word aionion. Aionion. We've seen that before. The lexical form is aionios. And if you look it up in a good lexicon, it will probably say aionios-on because it usually follows only second declension endings. So even when it's modifying a feminine noun, as it is here, it will follow the endings that you know as second declension masculine endings. Whether this noun is, or whether this adjective is modifying a feminine noun or a masculine noun, it will follow those os endings, the endings of logos that you learned. It also will follow the second declension neuter endings if modifying a neuter. Now, this word does occasionally follow actual regular alpha endings like the cardia endings, but usually it's a two-termination adjective. It's just a sort of an odd exception that it will occasionally have first declension endings. How many adjectives are there in the New Testament that follow two terminations? How many two termination adjectives? I'm really glad you asked that. There are 322 that occur a total of 944 times in the New Testament. How do I know that? I know that because of the delightful little book by Brooks and Winberry. Brooks and Winberry have a text entitled A Morphology of New Testament Greek. A Morphology of New Testament Greek, and they have on page 89 to 92, they have a list of all 322 two-termination adjectives in the New Testament, even little footnotes where they have odd exceptions and sometimes have an ending there that follows first declension. So isn't that exciting? Some of you will sleep better tonight knowing that somewhere accessible to you is a list of all the two-termination adjectives in the New Testament.